The Apostle Paul says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 to 27, "Just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, that he might present to himself the church in all of her glory, having no spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and blameless." The question is often asked, who loves the church? And the answer is Christ loves this church. He's the head of the church. He has bought her with his own precious blood. Christ has called his church to be a radiant and perfected bride fit for himself. Yet as his chosen disciples, we ought to also love the church. Yet there are many people today who do not love the church. Certainly, if we keep our eyes on the faults and upon the historical, well-documented abuses of the established church, then we understand how people may feel. How do we move past the negative feelings about the organized church and get back to the attitude of Christ, who loved, chose, called, and perfected his bride, the church? First, we must realize that the church is both imperfect and perfect. Like all human organizations, the natural limitations of a fallen nature get evidenced in the church here on earth. The church is made up of imperfect people, sanctified by grace, but still struggling with the natural nature. Second, accept one another as people created in the image of God, who have been made new by grace. Grace has made us partakers of God's nature, full of love and truth. God loves us in spite of our sin. Therefore, we ought to love each other. Thirdly, refuse to accept or excuse wrong behaviors in the church. If the church is to be pure, it must also be real and transparent. Fourthly, do not allow grace killers to rule the church. The church must not allow what Chuck Swindoll has referred to as grace killers in his book, Grace Awakening, to go unchallenged. Grace killers are critical and judgmental in their attitude towards others. Their depth of spirituality is shallow, and they are only comfortable if everyone conforms to their rigid understanding of spirituality. This attitude kills grace and creates tensions in the church. Who loves the church? Christ loves the church, and so do I. And I trust that that is true for each of you as well. May God bless you as you pray this month.